The California Western Railroad began as a logging railroad to supply lumber to San Francisco back in 1885 and again during the disastrous earthquake of 1906. San Francisco rebuilt after that earthquake, and 110 years later, it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Now let's look at your self-assessment. What % of the last video clip did you understand? This becomes your comprehension score to compare with your comprehension in our earlier episodes. Now, if you've been using your notebook, leaf back to find an earlier comprehension score. You'll find it in our earlier episodes, even as far back as episode 1. See if you can find a graph in there. Now, you may find this graph that we made for episode 7. Today, we'll add to the graph and see how much your comprehension has grown over the time that you've watched the many video clips about our theme. Back at episode 7, we plotted this graph as an example of growth in comprehension by episode. This was just an example what a viewer could have recorded during the various episodes. So starting at 60%, the comprehension level rose slightly by episode 3, then dipped during episode 10 to 32%, then increased to 75% by episode 7. Again, this was just an example. The rate of growth would vary by individual. Now we look at adding today's episode to a similar example, reaching 90% comprehension of the video clips. Now the graph clearly shows the progress, and this is what's important. It's helpful to assess your own comprehension and see your progress. Now this graph does not show the rate of progress because the episodes are not evenly spaced, but this example would show that the viewer comprehends much more the video clip content than was the case at the beginning. Your own experience may be closer to this example. Beginning with a comprehension level of around 30%, this viewer increased to 75% comprehension by the 31st episode, a great amount of growth. Or your experience may have been closer to this example, starting at a strong 75% comprehension at the beginning of the unit. Comprehension rose to 85% by the 31st episode. Now, in general, progress slows in the upper percentages of the graph. Approximately 100%, I should say approaching 100% comprehension may be agonizingly slow, but progress is always worth celebrating. And honestly, you may not always comprehend 100% in your own home language. I certainly don't. So if you find your comprehension is at a high percent, here's a way to fine-tune your assessment. Repeat the last video clip, but this time turn away from the monitor or the TV. See how much you understand by just listening to the audio. This would test your listening skills without all the context clues provided by the video input. Better yet, choose a video clip from one of our earlier episodes, one you saw a long time ago. That would be an even tougher assessment and would probably result in a lower percentage. Now, you could do that again during the next unit and see if your listening comprehension has grown without the help of visual input. Now, if you've developed an interest in our theme of trains and railroads, I suggest continuing to watch videos and to read about the topic. There are many feature-length movies that involve trains. A handy list can be found in the Historic Rails catalog. One movie with lots of laughs is called Silver Streak with comedian Richard Pryor. Now, we're nearing the end of our theme on trains and railroads. Now, if you've enjoyed watching the video clips we feature on Ramping Up Your English, you'll be glad to hear that we have more to see in our next episode, which will be the last episode on trains and railroads. Visit my website, letscreate.org, for bonus videos. I'll post them as I continue riding the rails. You can watch today's show again at letscreate.org and take a closer look at the graphs we used, along with step-by-step directions in doing your own self-assessment. The episode 31 page has a link to Greg Schindel so you can enjoy more of the great train songs. You can also watch today's program and even download it by visiting archive.org/details/roadtv. It's available there on video on demand. Choose Ramping Up Your English from the sidebar on the right, or choose my name, John Letts. Then choose episode 31. Now, if you'd rather see animals than watch train videos, you'll be happy to know that our next thematic unit will be animals. We'll start that unit soon after Trains and Railroads. Keep checking the letscreate.org website and keep watching Rogue Valley TV. You can watch Ramping Up Your English on Channel 15 and others on the Ashland Home Network or on Channel 182 on Charter Cable in the rest of Southern Oregon. Times will vary in other parts of the country. Check your local public access or educational TV station for the show times. Well, that's all the time we have today. I want to thank my volunteer crew, my announcer Bob Ayers, RVTV, and I want to thank you, our viewers. See you next time on Ramping Up Your English. We leave you with some favorite train rides with natural sound. I hope you enjoy the ride. I'm John Letts.
This is the subway in Frankfurt, Germany. Lots of forested acreage.
You've been watching Ramping Up Your English, a support program for intermediate level English language learners. Learn more. Visit our website at letscreate.org. You can also watch or download today's program at archive.org/details/roguetv. Join us next time on RVTV Voices for Ramping Up Your English.